ready. The first race in the Kubelwagen. Go, go, go! In the first race of the Kubelwagen Kup. Going down to the first chicane, the first turn. The race is underway. We've got 16 cars on the grid tonight. Alright, let's mute that. We've got 16 cars on the grid tonight. I need to turn the nameplates on now so we can actually see positions. Golden Arrow from PIB leading the charge, but Red Jackson in second place, very close. Golden Arrow goes sharp into that turn. Red Jackson carries his way through that turn nicely. And we've got a battle for pole position now. We've got PIB Morris, Golden Arrow and Red Jackson fighting for first place. Will Golden Arrow get through this corner smoothly? He goes too wide. Red Jackson on the inside takes over. Pole position taken. Morris in second and Mustard in third place now. Close battle for first place going on here. Red Jackson, Morris, bumper to bumper as they're going into the next corner now. Jackson goes out a little bit wide. Morris goes on the inside, but Jackson gaining a little bit of lead there. You can see the positions opening up as Red Jackson goes down this long straight. We're going to have a bumpy turn coming up there. Will Jackson be able to get through this corner smoothly? He does, carries that weight well. Look at the weight transfer going through that corner. Golden Arrow bumper to bumper with Mustard there in third place. Golden Arrow trying to pull this back. Dropping back down to fourth from first place. Jackson, milliseconds in there so far. Smooth turns both there. I think Jackson just carrying his speed a little bit better through this corners. As Morris keeps going. We'll just be on board until we get to the woods. Again, Jackson just carrying his speed through these corners well, rolling the car nicely with its weight. You can see the position between first and second opening up now. We've got about a 2 to 2 second gap opening between first and second. Then third place, Mustard and Golden Arrow falling back. Let's have a look at the rest of the line. We've got Rourke. So there is a big group in, between fourth and first. You can see a group of 4, and then there's a lot of spacing going on here. 5th to 6th, a lot of space in there. 6th and 7th, a little bit closer, but lots of grouping already happening into smaller sections. You've got 2 cars battling over here further down the path. We've got Bopak going too strong into that corner though, and he loses control. Mauser taking the lead further. So I think that is all cars. Let's head back where first is. You see, there is a bit of a grouping forming up here later down the track. Avenger losing it through that corner there. He goes a little bit too wide. Let's head back to see how the battle is going on for first, second, third, and fourth. So you got Golden Arrow on the tail of Mustard for third place. Jackson losing a little bit of speed through these corners, allowing for PIB, Marius, Mustard, and Golden Arrow all to bunch up there. Third, fourth and second very closely together. Jackson bumping off a barrier again there, and look at the positionings. They close up again, and we've got a collision going on. Golden Arrow side to side with Morris coming into the first corner. Golden Arrow is the inside corner, but they both lose control. Oh, we might have to get the stewards to look at that incident there. I feel like Golden Arrow caused that accident, and that is a huge gap opened up now between second, third, and fourth. Jackson and Marin, I can't pronounce his name. I'm just going to keep calling him Morris. Morris? Morris and Jackson battling it out. Morris carrying his speed, going off the track there a little bit as he carries the speed better, going up this slight incline. Jackson falling down, not getting good gear control there, and Morris taking the lead in pole position again. Marinos, his name is Morris. He's Morris, okay? Morris is more of a traditional racing name. Golden Arrow in third place, catching up. He started in pole position after qualifying with the fastest lap. You can see he's still carrying his speed well. He's managing to catch up with first and second. Yet again, Mustard all the way back after that collision earlier. He's having a hard time having to catch up now. Hairpin turn here. Jackson goes a little bit too far. Morris goes around it smoothly, and Golden Arrow a little bit better than Jackson, so Golden Arrow is slightly catching on Jackson now. Morris's lead is opening up further and further. He has about a second lead now in the distance between first and second. goes through that corner well. Jackson also goes through that corner well. Golden Arrow carries too much speed, comes off the barrier, but it didn't hinder him too much. Morris coming down to this first hairpin. Hard on the brakes there. Allows for Jackson to catch up. Morris maybe a little bit too hard on the brakes. Allow for Jackson to get right on his tail again. The positions are opening up. There is just less than a second distance between them. Golden Arrow also bombing down this straight here as we go into another hairpin turn soon. Morris. Softer on the brakes that time, but Jackson just carried his weight through that corner a little bit better. I feel Jackson has been practicing a little bit. So has Morris. Jackson rolling his Kubelwagen through those corners very nicely. Coming down to another hairpin turn here. Morris goes out wide. Jackson goes out wide but cuts into the corner sharper. He's on the tail now, Morris. Less than half a second between first and second. Golden Arrow is falling further and further back. You can see there's about a 2-second distance gap now between Jackson and Golden Arrow as we come to the close of the first lap. There are 5 laps per race. They're coming to nearly to the end of the first. Jackson having a little bit more speed through these straights. And we'll come on to a couple of chicane turns here. Morris carrying his speed well, but Jackson, I feel Jackson is gaining here as he's less on the brakes. Morris very heavy on these brakes, and Jackson is using that to his advantage. As we come side by side almost. Jackson's going to have the inside of the corner. Morris closes him off though. Good defending there by Morris as he closes off the inside. And it's going to be Morris who leads after the first lap in first place. But Jackson is straight on his tail. Less than half a second time between them. As we come up to the checkered flag. Sorry, not checkered flag. Sorry. The starting line, and that is the first lap completed. Morris completes in the first position. Jackson, though, very close there. Jackson, once again, carrying his speed better through the corner. He was on the outside. He's trying to pass on the outside. Look at this, side by side now. No collision going on. Both drivers being very respectful of each other. As Jackson, oh, Morris loses control there. Gets caught in a little divot. His car bounces, almost rolls. And that allows Jackson just to creep through into first place. Half a second in between them now. Very unlucky there from Morris. He just lost. He was on the outside part of the track. And that led into the rougher parts of the track. Golden Arrow, you've seen Golden Arrow's position dropping further and further back. That's about a 4-second distance now between him and second place. Mustard also falling very far back. He's now about, oh, what would you say, about 10 seconds behind fourth place. Let's head back further up the map. So in fifth place, we've got Mr. Tycho. Sixth place, Tyler. Tyler carrying speed up very well there, catching him with fifth. Stanley from Easley in seventh. Rourke came out of the pits there. So we're having a few pit changes here. So how the pit changes work, you can see to give a balanced time between the cars. When a pit stop happens, the mechanics have to dig down a fully built up sandbag. So that is how the pit times are regulated and kept equal between both teams. They have to dig down the sandbag to represent, you know, fuel being added, tires being changed, and all that stuff. For each race, one pit stop must take place. So you can hear Bopak. You can see the mechanics there digging down the sandbags. Once the car comes to a complete stop, they begin digging down. And now Bopak can continue on again. I love that. I love that, man. It's so like it's smart. It's a smart thing to do. So we've seen some cars further down the track in position. They're doing their pit stops on the first lap. They're getting their pit stops out of the way as soon as possible. Let's head back towards pole position now. But so that's really another tactic the teams have to come up with here. Do they do their pit stops early? Do they hang back? Depending on their positions. See, Jackson's still in the lead there, and Jackson's lead in first place has only widened as Morris is now about 5 seconds back, and also the position between second and third also widened. So we're getting a lot of the positions are widening now. Groups are starting to break down. Mustard trying to catch up with Golden Arrow. So let's see if we can find any close battles. So we've got a close battle going on for 5th and 6th place here. We have Tyler from First AL looking to overtake Mr. Tycho from PIB for 5th position here. We'll be on board these drivers just to see how well they do so far. And then we'll look at pole position again in a little bit second. Good transfer through the corner there. Rolling the car speed nicely. You can do drifts in your cars on this. And going through these corners, you can roll the car to transfer the speed through corners a bit better. You don't have to just slap on the brakes. And Tycho losing control. You see how Tyler's car went through that corner a little bit better. He drifted out. Bumper to bumper action now as Mr. Tycho lost control through that corner. Tyler transferred his speed better. We'll have to see if Tyler... Oh, and Tyler loses it. The bumps in the road there, drifting his car out. So what he gained there, he's going to have to rebuild again. And Mr. Tycho getting about a 3-second lead now. Oh, we've got an accident going on here. And Tycho also goes through this corner. Tyler with the great corner there. Lookstar car. Looks like he's had a engine failure potentially. Looks like he has been retired from the race. We'll have to see if a safety car comes out. But Tyler... Good overtake there as Mr. Tycho lost control through that corner. You see he's still got a battle going on here for 5th place. Mr. Tycho, good transfer of speed there. We've got a little bit of contact as Tycho carried his speed better through that corner. And now we've got the incline. Both cars struggling to gear down up this incline, getting those rests built up. Close race going on here. I wish we could go into first person mode onto a racer to see how it looks in first person. You can see Tycho chasing down Tyler here as we go into the factory complex. Narrow streets here. Those factory gates are very narrow. Be careful going through these corners. Tight corners into a hairpin turn. I feel Tycho just handled that corner a little bit better. But nevertheless, the gap is still pretty even between these. About a second, half a second to a second time difference between these two cars battling for 5th place. Oh, and Tycho carries a little bit too much speed, but he does use the barrier just to keep his transfer going. And we have a safety car called out. And I believe that'll be for, was it PIB Luxter's car? Who was on that corner, crashed out, disabled. No overtaking allowed. And Mr. Tycho just almost feels like he was aiming then. He loses control in that corner. Too much speed. And now Tyler gets a big gap. So the safety car has gone out. No overtakings are allowed at this point. Don't think any overtaking would happen anyway because we've got a lot of space in between the teams here. Between the drivers. You can see the spacing going on is just widening between the drivers. The closest we probably have is a group of PIB drivers here. We've got Bobby C, Bopac, and Little Horace. Don't know what position these guys will be playing for. They're at the very end of the race, so these are going to be battling for 17th, 16th, and 15th position. Bopac losing his control there, as Horace unable to overtake due to the safety car. But Bopac is going to be slowing down Horace's position, and this allows for Bobby C just to widen his position. Although Bobby C comes to a complete halt in that hairpin turn and loses all his speed, Bobby Bopac goes a little bit too hard into the corner as well. And Horace also goes a little bit too hard into that corner. So we've had the second lap completed now. 3 laps left. Three laps left in the race. Chat, what do you think? So how is my racing commentary? Is that alright? It's not often I get to cast a racing commentary. My dad actually cast a racing commentary with my aunt last weekend. They actually commentated on a race. They commentated on a stock car race. And they did the scoring. So hopefully I'm doing my family proud. Hopefully I'm doing my family proud. So we've got the safety car out here. You can see the safety car. We'll just go on board the safety car. We've got Frapp and Andre in the safety car. We've got first position here, second position and third position. So once the safety car leaves the track, Golden Arrow, how do you crash into the safety car? Once the safety car leaves the track, we're going to have another battle on our hands here for first, second, and third place if Golden Arrow can catch up. So this is going to tighten up the race again. It's going to cause a few more groups to build up between cars. So we'll have to see, will Red Jackson hold on to pole position? Or will Morris take him off again? Or will Golden Arrow, who qualified in pole position, manage to get back into first? Golden Arrow a little bit strong when it comes to these corners. Feel like that was his major slip-up so far. See Morris there, keeping the heat in his tyres under the safety car. Keeping those tyres warm by weaving back and forth. Doesn't want to lose that speed. Doesn't want to lose that efficiency in his tyres. Smart by him. We've got a... Not quite sure how this happened. The barber. I mean, again, it's the American drivers. I mentioned this at the start of the race. Do not put your money on the American drivers. They are nowhere near on the same level as our European drivers. And this is prime example right here. I don't even know how the barber ended up off the track and underneath his own car. Never bet on American drivers. He's gonna have to go all the way to the back of the group now, I feel. The Barber and Lurkstar are DNF. Oh, they're DNF. Fair enough. DNF. So we've had our first two disqualifications. Lockstar disqualified, and also the Barber, who somehow, thank God there's no spectators here. Thank God it's all from the helicopter. Me in the helicopter. There's no spectators for this road. COVID. You know, we've had to limit the amount of spectators on the track. So currently it's only the racing drivers and stewards around the track and me in the helicopter. COVID regulations don't allow for spectators to be here. So thankfully, or else we might have had a tragic story to tell. Safety car's still out, but look at this now. The drivers are all grouping up. We've got first all the way back to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh position car. All grouped up now. So we're basically going to have a rolling start happen. Will Red Jackson hold on to his position? Or will Morris and Golden Arrow give him a run for his money? We'll have to see. The safety car, I imagine, is going to complete this rest of this lap, go into the pits, and allow the race to continue under a rolling restart. Mustard. Putting that corner a little bit too sharp. Luckily, Rourke holds on. Tycho. Get back. There you go. You don't want to be penalized. Jackson! I feel like we're having more crashes under the safety car than not. Also, I feel like the safety car should be a tank. You guys feel? Do you think? Or it should be the what do you call it? The Citroen. You can see that's Luxtor's car there being recovered by the stewards. It should be like the Commander Citroen from Chapter 2. The French one. That'd be pretty cool. As the command car. So you can see this grouping build up here. Jackson, Morris, Golden Arrow, Tyler again in these corners. Tyler, what is going on? Tyler's going to have to get back into his position now. I'm with... Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, obviously when I play the F1 tune, obviously I've got to play the old F1 tune. I didn't even know they changed the F1 tune. That's why I had a hard time finding it. That new one is terrible. Like, the old one is obviously the best. Dun, 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Like, so much better. So much better in every single way. See, all the races gathering up now. Easy, Stanley Boys managed to catch up with the group. Joey Boys also managed to get back onto the group. I feel like Tycho not quite understanding how the safety car works. How did he end up in third? So nearly at the end of this safety car lap. Hopefully we won't see any more safety cars. It does disrupt the flow of the drivers, does slow down the race. Does do a good job of grouping up the races though. Yo, Dio, how was your cast, man? How was the match? Did you have a good time casting the One Life event? You joined us for a unique cast tonight. It's the second race series in the Kubelwagen Kup. We're currently under a safety car on the third lap. And we're just waiting for the race to start again. We're waiting for the safety car to pull off into the pit so the racers can get underway again. The safety car has allowed for all the drivers to group up once again, though. Intense battle. Loved it. Good, man. I'm glad you did. Volkswagen. Yeah, the Volkswagen. The Kubelwagen. The Kubelwagen Kup. Or the Volkswagen. But yeah, it was a Ion 9 and 6GA playing tonight, right? I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I'm glad someone else is getting into casting events as well. Like, we needed more people to cover events and stuff. Oh, it's amazing. It's pretty good, right? It's just something fun and casual. There are rules like to make the race fair and balanced, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Excellent cam work. Thank you, man. I'm in the race helicopter right now. I'm in the helicopter doing the commentary. Specially made for me. We're just waiting for Andrew in the safety car to enter the pits, and once he enters the pits, the race can continue. Bob Marley. I love that name, man. Bob Marley, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Much love. Thank you again for the raid, Dio. Appreciate it. Guys, if you don't know who Dio is, go check him out. I don't know if I can do the shout-out command, because I think it got deleted. But click his name. Let me see if it works. Does it work? Does the... Yeah, my shout-out command got deleted. But go check out Dio. He's a Post Scriptum content creator like myself, and he covers plenty of events. Bah! So go check him out. Tyler, what is going on? You've crashed more under the safety car than any other time. Are you okay? Tyler, are you okay? Are you okay, Tyler? Are you okay? The safety car is going to be leaving into the pit, so any second, and the race is underway again. Golden Arrow decides to go into the pit. He's using his one pit stop. He's getting it out the way now while the racers are all clumped together. Smart decision by him. But Jackson and Morris going into the first corner. Green flag. There it goes. The race is underway. Jackson managing to keep onto his first position. Fourth lap. And the spacing is continuing. He's got about half a second lead now. With the stops? Yes. So how this works, there's going to be 2 races tonight. 5 laps per race. The drivers, the teams of 4, 2 drivers, 2 mechanics, and during each race they must do one pit stop. And how a pit stop works: the drivers drive into the pits. The 2 mechanics, they have to dig down a sandbag wall, because then everyone's balanced. Everyone has the same time. Once the sandbag wall is completely dug down, then the racer can get back out on the race. You have to go on the 9s and 10s. Up in the live time traffic chopper. You damn right I am. Up in the Kubelwagen chopper 1. And Red Jackson continues his lead. He's got about a second lead now on Morris in second place. Third place, we've got Mustard fighting with Mr. Tycho. But Mr. Tycho loses it in the small chicane. An easy NA driver, easy, gives him a shunt through. And the first AL Rourke. We've got a 3-way battle here. Let's keep on this battle here for, I think this is for 4. Yeah, 4th place. Oh, and Rourke gets pushed into the barriers. He was on the inside of the lap, but that has allowed for Joey to come forward. But Joey also cutting those corners a little bit too short. So we've got a battle between Stanny Boy and Mr. Tycho. Let's see if Stanny Boy can cause any pressure on Tycho. I think Stanny Boy might be the only NA driver we've got left in the race right now. So he's representing North America. And we'll have to see if he can compete with these European drivers. Mr. Tycho, who had a few incidents under the safety car. Stanny Boy coming through that corner, carrying his speed better than Tycho. Once again, through these corners, he's just holding his speed a little bit better through these corners. Mr. Tycho maybe feeling the pressure. As Stanny Boy once again gaining those half a seconds here and there. PIB is Netherlands? Yeah, PIB is Netherlands. Although they have some non-Dutch drivers, I think. We've got Joey catching up from the Partisans. Joey from the Partisans catching up onto Stanny Boy. It's going to be a three-way battle for 4th place here. As Stanny Boy just cuts that corner. And Joey also cuts that corner a little bit too sharply. Losing speed, allowing for Tycho to increase his distance now. We've got Rourke caught up with Joey. Will Rourke be able to pass Joey? First AL, Partisans. Oh, Joey loses control through that corner. You could see the oversteer just taking control of the car. It allows Rourke just to slither by. But Joey! Stanny Boy, I think accidentally putting Rourke into the barrier there. Stanny losing control. Now he's under pressure from Joey. Battle for 5th place now. And easy Stanny lets up, allowing Joey just to go through that. And Stanny loses control, but also Rourke loses control going through that corner. Golden Arrow sneaks through. Golden Arrow, who did a pit stop. He was battling for 1st place. Look how many positions he's regained. He used his pit stop, and he's already gained 3 positions here. Golden Arrow, one of the star drivers here tonight. He actually qualified in pole position. And we know in 1st place, the drivers in 1st and 2nd place still need to go in for a pit stop. Morris and Jackson still need to use their pit stop. So at some point, they do need to pull off the track. And it looks like we've actually had a transfer of position. Morris has actually taken over 1st place. Jackson has been budged down to 2nd place. So at some point, Morris managed to take over Jackson and regain control of 1st place. In 3rd place, we've got Mustard still holding on there for the 1st AL. Mr. Tycho in 4th. Joey losing control going into the factory complex. He's lost a lot of distance here. Golden Arrow has got all the way up into, what is this, 6th place? Golden Arrow. Who the fuck is Morris? No, it's Morris. His name's Morris. Shh. His name's Morris. I have a hard time with names. Golden Arrow has managed to get all the way back into 6th place. Huge drive from him tonight. Rourke, Tyler, and Stanny all battling for 7th place as well. We've got a 3-car grouping going on there. But all eyes on Golden Arrow, who went into the pits after the safety car, got back out on the track, and already gaining huge positions and times. Will he be able to catch up with 1st place? Speaking of 1st place, let's go on over. We can see the battle heating up between Morris and Red Jackson here as they go down one of the long straights leading into a hairpin turn. Jackson lighter on the brakes, managing to close that distance there. Morris was a little bit strong on the brakes there. You can see Jackson almost on the bumper. No time distance in this, really. Morris under a lot of pressure here. They're going to be on this long straight now, leading into a chicane, going into the final lap. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe they both have to do a pit stop. I think they both have to do a pit stop this lap. I could be wrong, but I think they have to. Morris and Jackson, they're going through these chicanes. Nice transfer of speed. Distance stayed pretty much the same, but Jackson maybe on the accelerator just a little bit quicker as they go through the first chicane and pitted. We've got an accident. Jackson just pitting Morris says. Morris went a little bit too wide on that corner. Nevertheless, they're going to keep their positions. Good honor between the drivers there. Then Jackson didn't take advantage. And they're going into the final corner here, leading onto the stretch on the 5th lap. Oh, and Jackson just goes a little bit too fast through that corner. And the distance has been gained. That's about a second distance now, maybe just over a second, as Morris and Jackson go into the stretch here. Is Morris going to go off? No, Morris is going to go on to the final lap, I think. Jackson takes his pit stop now. So Morris is going to go into the... I think that's going to be the 4th lap. So Jackson has to... I think. He might have already pitted. I could be wrong. That safety car did throw me out a little bit. Mustard and Mr. Tycho here going down. So you can see Jackson down here. You can see his mechanics. They're having to dig down that sandbag wall. And Jackson gets back out onto the track in 5th place. In 5th position. So Jackson got a little bit of work to do on his hands. He's back into 5th. From 1st into 5th. That pit stop costing him a few positions. But he did get out ahead of Golden Arrow and a big group. So we're on to the final lap here. Mr. Tycho. And Mustard. Oh, Mr. Tycho loses it through that corner. Allowing Jackson just to catch up. Jackson, good control through that corner. Keeping his speed up. Hugging that corner. Let's see how Golden Arrow does it. Golden Arrow very similar as well. The inner wheels going off the ground there. And we'll watch Stanny Boy. Stanny Boy. Not as much speed carried. Taylor. Good going through that corner. And we'll watch Hawk as well. Hawk almost coming to a complete stop there. Not good for Hawk. And how does Joey? And Joey hits the barriers. So, not too good for him there. You can see little Horace there at the back of the queue. Red Jackson catching up on Tycho and Mustard. Let's watch that as they go through the chicane. Jackson. Oh, he tried to whip the car out. Costing him time, though, as he goes into the barrier. Jackson was trying to whip his car out there, doing a little bit of a handbrake turn. But that's cost him massively. He's down to about 4 or 5 seconds distance now. Golden Arrow also is going to be challenging Jackson very soon. Golden Arrow has made up great time and positions after pitting out. Again, he qualified in pole position for this race. He qualified in pole position, so he's looking to get as high up on the race finish as possible as they go into the wooded turns now. Let's just get on board here as Mr. Tycho and Mustard leading this group. Jackson catching up. Golden Arrow also slowly starting to catch up. Oh, Golden Arrow loses it on that corner. He tried to cut the corner short and he's lost valuable time. Now he's under pressure from Stanny Boy. I've got hiccups. Golden Arrow's under pressure from Stanny Boy now. You can see Stanny Boy all over behind him, trying to find a way to pass. Did lose a little bit of time there as he was weaving back and forth. Golden Arrow kept it true and steady. He held his position, defended well. Golden Arrow, they both drivers transition through that corner very well there. Going down into the hill decline now. Some sharp corners coming up, some narrow parts of the track. Golden Arrow goes through these corners very well. Stanny Boy actually holding the speed better, rolling the car through those turns. And Golden Arrow is under a lot of pressure now from our North American driver here. I'm guessing he's from North America. He's from Easy. He must be. Oh, and Stanny Boy takes the inside of the corner. Golden Arrow goes out a little bit too wide, and Stanny Boy takes the inside opportunity there. Good drive by Stanny Boy. Golden Arrow a little bit too harsh into that corner then as well. Goes into the barrier. Stanny Boy with a good overtake there, having the speed. Golden Arrow just goes out a little bit too far. And maybe exhaustion playing here for Golden Arrow, but he's still putting pressure on Stanny Boy. We'll quickly fly over. Once we get to the factory section, as you can see, Tycho and Mustard are under we've got a 3-car group in here as Jackson is trying to get back. I believe this will be 2nd place. Yeah, this is a battle for 2nd place going on here. Tycho and Mustard going into the factory complex very soon. Narrow entrance into the factory. This could shift positions here as Mustard, yet Mustard goes a little bit too harsh into that corner, and Jackson now moves up into third place. Tycho does manage to get a bigger lead now, though, going into the hairpin turns. Very good turns by him. Jackson, though, not far behind, and Mustard also not far behind. We've got Stanny Boy. Also, Stanny Boy managing to get more distance on Golden Arrow. So, Stanny Boy might be challenging for 4th position here. You can see Morris over there. He's onto some of the long stretches now. Morris looks like he's going to finish in 1st place unless he has a absolute disaster on the track. It looks like he should be finishing in 1st place for this lap. So the battle now is for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. This is where all the action is going to be in the final corners, the final throws of this first race here. And Tycho goes a little bit too harsh into that corner. That should allow for Jackson to get into 2nd place. Mustard also using that opportunity to catch up with cars side by side here. Jackson and Mr. Tycho side by side. Tycho went too harsh into that last corner. He went into the barrier. Jackson obviously got stuck behind him. Oh, and Jackson losing control there. His car weaving across the road, losing speed, and Mustard allowing him to catch up. Tycho also loses speed, so we've got a lot of errors in the last corners of the track here, as Jackson manages to squeeze through into 2nd place. Lots of errors going on to the final corners of this race here. This is the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now. Oh, and Tycho goes a little bit too harsh in that corner. We might have to have the stewards look at that. Tycho was very harsh into that corner. He had the inside line, but he had no intentions of stopping there. Morris finishes in 1st place. We've just been confirmed by the stewards. But the battle is going on for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th now. Mustard weaving across the road a little bit there. Golden Arrow is still trying to catch up. Will he be able to catch up into the last... This was still got to go through a chicane here. And the final corner of the track. There might be a few more errors that happen. Jackson once again catching on Mr. Tycho. The distance, less than half a second between them. Mustard also ready to pounce. Tycho through that corner very well. Jackson just a little bit better. And we're on to the final corner now. Will there be any issues on this final turn? No, Tycho defends his position well in 2nd place there. Jackson. So it looks like Mr. Tycho, unless his car blows up, he's going to finish in 2nd place with Jackson in 3rd place and Mustard from First AL in 5th. Let's just wait until the checkered flag goes. And there's the checkered flags. Mr. Tycho in 2nd, Jackson in 3rd, Mustard in 4th. Golden Arrow coming through in 5th. Unfortunate for him, he finished top of the qualifiers. Stanny Boy in 6th. And then we're going to have Tyler from First AL and Rourke in 7th and 8th. And how many cars do we still have the track? We have 5 cars still on the track. We've got Joey coming down now on the final stretch. He's going to be finishing in 9th, I think. Did I lose count? I think this is 9th. Joey in 9th. I might have miscounted. I might be 1 ahead. Joey in 9th. So let's get on to the final battle. We're going to have Avenger go through in 10th. He's pretty comfortable there. No one's going to be challenging him. Bopac, as long as he doesn't crash out on this corner, he should be finishing in 11th. Yeah, he goes around that corner quite carefully. He's going to be in 11th. We've got Mauser 12th. Bobby C in 13th. And they should, again, they should, unless there's something drastic here. Oh, Mauser does slow down a little bit, but he still has enough distance. So that's 12th and 13th. And then quite far down on the track, I don't know who this is. We've got little Morris. Bless him. He's still got quite a way to go. He's going to be the final car in 14th or 15th. We had 2 cars get disqualified, so I think he should be in 15th. Because there were 17 originally. So little Horace, is going to be finishing in 15th position once he gets to the final end. So, pretty good first race. We only had 1 incidence of a safety car. But yeah, that was a pretty good first race. What do you guys think? And there's the flag, and we go for race 2 on this evening of the Kubelwagen Kup. And we've already got contact going down to the first corner as the Partisans and Pib battle. First AL Avenger taking the opportunity to shoot through. He's on the tail of Waffle and Bobby C. We've got contact, cars bouncing off each other all the way down this first stretch. We've got a little bit of a pit going on Mustard. Accidental, of course. Oh, and we've got a car almost flipping over. Shooting completely 180'd there. And Red Jackson. Oh, we've got a little collision going on as Golden Arrow comes flying through here. In the lead, though, we've got Bobby C and Waffle chased by, in second place, Avenger, first AL, and third, Atri. We've got a group of 4 cars going into this corner, though. Golden Arrow and Red Jackson are trying to fly their way up the grid order as they're battling against Joey now. Golden Arrow and Jackson, they fought each other on the first race. They're back in the second race. How are you doing, Willdale? Oh, and Golden Arrow slams straight in the back of Joey, and also Red Jackson. We've got a little bit of a collision going on here as cars mount up. Senate managing to do a triple overtake there, and also Damien. And Joey gets spun out almost, and Red Jackson managing to squeak by Joey. Unfortunate for him, that contact there forced him all the way down the grid order, and we've got a car pile up here. We've got a big car pile up as Senate and Golden Arrow collide through that small little intersection. So this is where all the action is so far. This big group of cars, they're bouncing off one another. First AL car, trying to go off the track there a little bit. Oh, and Senate crashes through the corner. Mustard crashes into him as well. We missed that, but there's a lot of collisions going on right now as the drivers are fighting so close together in these sharp corners when the track gets narrow. Jackson flying all over the road. He's still battling with Golden Arrow and Joey, and Golden Arrow goes straight into the slide of Joey there, allowing Red Jackson just to gain a little bit of distance. Khan. There we go. I'm going to say with Khan managed to take over Golden Arrow, but they're still battling through. When Joey loses control through that corner, he crashes into the barrier, and Khan manages to get out of that pretty much freely, gaining distance there. Let's head a bit further up the track as Damien gains a larger distance on Mustard. Red Jackson still trying to catch up. Let's head a little bit further down the track. We've got Atri in third place. But in first place, we've got First AL Avenger gaining a big lead here as Waffle and Bobby C try to catch up in second place. First AL Avenger getting very far out here. He's got about a 2-second lead, but he did lose speed going through those corners there. Bobby C and Waffle do catching up. And remember, all the cars have to come in for one pit stop for every race. So at some point, these cars do need to come off the track, go in for a short pit stop, which they're going to lose time on. And Avenger loses it through that corner, allowing for Waffle and Bobby C just to overtake. I think Avenger just under pressure there in first position, losing a little bit of concentration. We've got a battle going for third and fourth place going on here as PIB and Partisans teams are fighting side by side. Look at the cars just going back and forth, side by side. Atri is trying to defend his position in third place as Damien is trying to get over. Damien goes on the inside corner a little bit. Partisans holding on the best he can as Red Jackson is slowly catching up as these two cars battle it out. This is allowing Red Jackson to catch up. Red Jackson, who performed very well in the first race. Oh, and Antria loses it a little bit, and Red Jackson tries to cut on the inside. He carried the speed, and he does a double overtake there. All cars lost a lot of speed, but Red Jackson was able just to cut across. You can see Mustard and Golden Arrow also catching up as Damien here and Atria. Their battle is causing them to lose speed and allowing other drivers to catch up in this race. The battle for first and second is continuous. Avenger has managed to catch up, and we've had Bobby C and Waffle crash there, allowing for Avenger just to be right on their tail yet again. And Bobby C loses it through the corner, and we've got another transfer of positions here as Avenger gets back into first place once again. And look at Red Jackson. Red Jackson has managed to catch all the way up now with first and second positions. Red Jackson catching all the way up after some disasters early on, and we've got a battle very close for fourth place here between 4 cars. Very close race. The second race is a lot more competitive than the first race. There's a lot more action, a lot more collisions and mistakes happening in this second race right now. But yeah, remember, all cars have to go in for 1 pit stop as Avenger loses it through that corner. So does Bobby C and Waffle. Jackson now able to get right on the tail of second place. But yeah, all cars have to do 1 pit stop. So at some point, all these cars have to come off the track, do 1 pit stop. So that will allow the grid to catch up. So what you want to do is you want to gain as large a lead as possible from the car behind you. So when you come back on the track, you're not going to get stuck behind them. Red Jackson there, carrying his speed better, going on the outside of that corner there, managing to get back into second place. And I've got to say, Bobby C and Waffle, also Avenger, making quite a few mistakes there. And with Red, and that's another mistake there by Avenger. And with Red Jackson on the track, he did so well in the first race. He's going to capitalize on any mistakes you make. And he's right on the tail now of first place. Let's look a little bit further down. Fourth place. So the position for fourth place has opened up a little bit as Damien leads in fourth place. But Golden Arrow, another veteran from that first race, just mentioning his name, he just makes a crash. Spectator curse. Golden Arrow did very good in that first race, but spectator curse there causing him to go into the barrier. Further down the track, we've got a battle further going down here as Shoot just takes over Senate from the BIP and PSI team. Rico catching up with them, and Joey, I can't see who that second name is because they're blended together. Joey, and is it Grow? They're battling now. And then further all the way down, we've got the NA drivers. Never battle NA, man. They're battling for last position. Let's head back up the race order because the first lap is about to be completed as the first cars are coming down the home stretch. Let's see if any of them go for a pit. And Jackson has actually made it into first place. And he goes in for a pit stop early on. Jackson managed to make it all the way up to the grid, top of the grid, into first place. He's deciding to go into a pit stop on the first lap. That allows for Avenger to get back into first position. And Waffle and Bobby C are also not coming in for a pit stop. So you can see the mechanics. Oh, and Bobby C and Waffle lose out on that first corner. That's going to allow for Jackson to get back onto the track very quickly behind them. And Jackson has managed to come out in fourth place. That means Damien, Waffle, and Bobby C, and who was in first place? It was Avenger, Commander Jackson. They're all going to have to come into a pit stop. That allows Jackson, if he holds his position, he will just by default get into first place if he doesn't have any big issues. Jackson very wisely doing a pit stop early on then when he had a lead in first place. He's been very strong on this lap. Golden Arrow right behind him. Golden Arrow, I don't think, did a pit stop either. So Golden Arrow at some point does need to go into a pit stop. Jackson there, very smart for him to do a pit stop early on when he was looking very confident on the racetrack. And that's it. Immediately, he gets into second place. He doesn't even have to wait for a pit stop as Bobby C and Damien have an accident in that corner there. Jackson is all the way back up into second place, and he did a pit stop. He does have a long distance ahead of him, though, to catch up with Avenger. Avenger has been making quite a few mistakes, so this second race. So if Jackson just keeps it under control, he'll be able to catch up with Avenger, no doubt. Panther, welcome to the stream, man. First time chatter. How are you doing? For this unusual Post Scriptum content. Unusual content. Not your usual content. Golden Arrow managing to get up into fourth place now. He's been battling this group of 4 cars here. And Damien going on the inside of the corner, causing contact with Golden Arrow. This close-knit 4-car Mustard is trying to get up on the inside. Look at this. Almost all 4 cars side by side. And that was bound to happen. Damien gets forced off the road. All cars getting very greedy there. It was hard to say who was at fault. as PSI shooting manages just to overtake Golden Arrow there. Red Jackson catching up. I think Avenger's lost a lot of time there. It looks like Avenger's been making a few mistakes through these corners, and Red Jackson is only about 2 seconds behind now. If Avenger goes into the pits, Jackson will no doubt take pole position. He might even get pole position without the pit stop happening for Avenger. As we just go on the wooded turns here. See the cars just trickling through. The spacing starting to open up a little bit. And Red Jackson has caught all the way up with Avenger. Avenger under a lot of pressure here through these corners. Unable to keep his speed. And Red Jackson, who's had a very smooth race, has managed to catch all the way up despite that pit stop. And Avenger is under a lot of pressure now. Will Avenger be able to defend his position? At some point, Avenger will need to go into the pits for his stop. So he needs to start creating some space. At least he needs to create a lot more space between him and third place. There is a lot of space between third place. But if he keeps making these mistakes, and there's another mistake, and just like that, Jackson, who has been an absolute star driver tonight, has gone into first place. He's managed, despite the pit stop, to regain pole position on the second lap. Incredible race from Red Jackson. And I've got to say, I doubt Red Jackson is going to lose that position now. He's completed his pit stop. He's having such a smooth race. It should be an easy finish for him at this point. Golden Arrow catching up with third place here as Waffle and Bobby C have been losing track time. Shooting also catching up. Mustard also catching up. We've got a group of cars starting to build here. And this group of cars are going to be battling for fourth place. Also third place as Bobby C and Waffle lose a lot of time through that corner there. And Golden Arrow is going to creep through. He takes third place. Will Shootin also get through? Golden Arrow taking the inside of the corner. And Bobby C and Waffle get spun out there. Unfortunate for them. Accidental, though, from PSI Shootin. Wasn't his fault. He just had more speed. Bobby C and Waffle were moving very slow through that section. But that does mean Golden Arrow is now in third place. And he's actually catching up with Avenger in second place. Look at Red Jackson. Look at the time he's got now between first and second. He's got about a 10-second lead. And that lead is only growing larger and larger. Golden Arrow under a little bit of pressure here, though, from Shootin. Shootin trying to overtake that. But Golden Arrow defends his position well on that hairpin turn. And Bobby C and Waffle get spun out again, but Mustard is waiting for them. Mustard is probably going to let them overtake. Yeah, Mustard is sacrificing his position. Golden Arrow and Shooting battling for third place there. Avenger losing more and more time as he loses more time on that corner there. Red Jackson is just gone at this point. Red Jackson, unless he has a major car malfunction, he's going to be very comfortable in first place. Very close battle going on for third and fourth place here, though. And I've got to say, with the performance of Golden Arrow and Shooting, they're going to be catching up with Avenger. And they are. Avenger losing on another corner there. So the battle for third and the third place here. Oh, unfortunate there for Shooting. I was about to say, the battle for third place is going to quickly turn into a battle for second place, as they are gaining more and more time on second position here. Shooting lost a lot of time there, though. We've had another disqualification. Nipai, which I believe was a NA driver from Easy. He has been disqualified. Oh, an Avenger there. Losing out on the corner. Golden tried to take over, but he just got sandwiched out into the barrier. Nevertheless, he's only a couple of seconds behind Avenger now. Avenger has been dropping a lot of time on these laps. Shooting has also managed to catch up thanks to that little bit of collision there between second and third. Bro, I need a drink. I understand now why racing commentators have two people doing the commentary. Golden Arrow, Shooting, all catching up. So this battle that was for third place is going to quickly turn into a battle for second place. Golden Arrow and Shooting catching up quicker and quicker on Avenger. Avenger feeling the pressure. And again, but all three cars here, I believe, have to go for a pit stop. Avenger goes too hard into that corner again. And Avenger just lost 2 positions. Golden Arrow and Shooting go up to second and third. Good driving by Golden Arrow and Shooting. I've got to say, these two drivers below us, Shooting and Golden Arrow, they've had an excellent battle going on here. Golden Arrow does go in for the pits, so Shooting is going to continue. Avenger also goes into the pits. Avenger, maybe some handling with his car. He has been losing out on a lot of turns, so there's maybe some adjustments the mechanics are going to be making. Shooting, though, continues into second place. He's going to have a large lap time as well, so on his next lap, he might be able to go into the pits and continue out into second place. Meanwhile, Red Jackson... At some point, if Red Jackson keeps on like this, he's gonna start lapping people. Red Jackson, comfortable Lewis Hamilton kind of finish here for him. He's got, it must be almost a minute distance between him and Shooting in second place. If he just remains calm, he's gonna be good. Golden Arrow came back out into fourth position behind Mustard. So Golden Arrow finished his pit stop. Avenger also came back out after his pit stop. He's in fifth place, so they're actually in comfortable positions now. I'm not quite sure if Mustard has already been into the pits. I can't remember, unfortunately. We don't have that technology set up in 1944, unfortunately. So I don't know if he's been in the pits. But we do know Golden Arrow, Red Jackson, and Avenger have been into the pits. At some point, Shooting will need to go in as well. Golden Arrow putting pressure on Mustard here. Golden Arrow is going to overtake. A little bit of side-by-side action there, but Golden Arrow does comfortably overtake and get into third position. Mustard dropping down to fourth. Golden Arrow being racing very smooth here. I would love to see Golden Arrow catch up with Shooting because they had a great battle going on. Let's head back down the track a little bit. We've got Avenger in fifth there. In sixth, we've got Damien, and he's very quickly catching up on Avenger. He carrying a lot of speed through those corners. Rico, Waffle Bob, we see. They're going to be having a little bit of a battle going on. Sinet and Antra. Antra, who started in pole position, I believe, has dropped all the way down. Not quite sure what position they are in at this point. But they're having a battle. And Antra losing control there. He was right on the bumper of Sinet. But he just loses control down the straight and goes straight into a barrier. Further down the track, we have Khan battling with Joey. And Khan, again, a lot of these drivers just carrying too much speed into these corners. They lose control and go straight into the barriers. And then at the very back, last car is Inkjet in last position. Mike Bluestar just coming out of the pits. And Morris, I believe. Oh, no, just Max. I'm okay. I'm okay. Calm down. I'm okay. So let's head back up to first position. Bless you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Another first-time chatter. Sign. Welcome. If you're wondering why I'm saying first-time chatter, I don't know what it is, but Twitch, they added a new feature where if someone talks for the first time in my chat, it says next to their name, first-time chatter. I don't know if you guys see it as well, or if it's just something I see, but it says first-time chat from viewer. Sign or like what? When did that happen? I don't know if only I see it, but welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy your stay. Red Jackson, look at the position Red Jackson has at this point. He's got such a dominating position. He's got over a minute, I'd say at this point, lead. Maybe not a minute, maybe just a minute. But Red Jackson very comfortable in first place. Second place, Shooting is trying to catch up, but I think it's going to be too much to manage unless Red Jackson has some big accidents. Golden Arrow in third. He's slowly catching up with Shooting. Shooting does have to go into the pits, so Shooting might go into the pits on this lap, which will allow him to come out roughly around the same time as Golden Arrow. Golden Arrow is slowly being caught up by Mustard, though. Avenger dropped down into fifth. And Damien is sixth below us. Waffle and Bobby C in 7th, Rico in 8th, Senna in 9th, Atri in 10th. And is that Joey there? Shotio and Mustard both need a pit. Ah, okay. So Shot and Mustard both need to go into the pits. So that's going to allow Golden Arrow to catch up with second place. And Mustard, the time between Mustard and Avenger should allow him to come out roughly at the same time and hold his position, as long as the mechanics are quick. But yeah, Golden Arrow slowly gaining on shooting. They are pretty even. The time between them hasn't really changed. Both these drivers, excellent drivers. Shooting does need to come into the pits, so we'll have to see on this lap if Shooting does go into the pits. He's onto the final quarter of this lap now. Lap 2. Golden Arrow losing a little bit of control through that corner. The distance widening between Shooting there and Mustard. Let's just go on board with Golden Arrow. Golden Arrow down this long straight, centering his car down the road, trying to keep that speed on the level surface, avoiding the bumps the best he can to maintain that speed, coming down to a hairpin turn, goes around it very nicely, good transition of speed there through that corner. Now into the final stretches of this lap, through these little sweeping turns. Can be third or fourth after pit stop, yes. Golden Arrow, again, maintaining his car as central as possible to the road. Level ground, keeping that speed through these final chicanes. And there'll be one more corner coming up. Car very level, very balanced. Good job by him. As the final turn is coming up, we'll have to see, will Shoot go into the pits on this fourth lap? He doesn't. He's going to come in on the final lap. So Shoot is holding his pit stop until the final lap. Mustard in a 5th place. Mustard has a huge lead. And Mustard, we do know now, he needs a pit stop as well. So we'll have to see, will he hold or will he come in on this lap? If he does, we'll have to see what position he comes out with. Mustard is going into the pits. So Avenger, his teammate, might be able to get a position here as Mustard goes into the pits. He went to the wrong bay. And that is a lot of time lost there for Mustard. You can see Avenger coming down the final straight now. Mustard, his car is in the wrong position. He went to the wrong bay. I mean, it happens in F1 occasionally. And Avenger is going to take his position and move up into 4th. Mustard, he's going to come out roughly at the same time as Damien. So there's going to be a battle for 5th place. Mustard just pops out in front of Damien into 5th place. PIB and the First AL teams here are going to be having a little bit of battle going on now for 5th place. So let's just be on board 5th for now. See what happens here. I think both these drivers, as Mustard gets a little bit too rash through that corner, I think both these drivers are going to catch up with Avenger. Avenger's had a pretty hard time on this second race. He's been losing a lot of time in the corners. So I imagine both Damio and Mustard here will catch up with Mustard, and then we'll have a battle for 4th place, most likely. You can see the very close race here. Only half a second between these two drivers. As they're slowly gaining on Avenger. They're probably about 5 seconds behind Avenger. They are slowly starting to gain. If Avenger loses time in these corners, he's going to have 2 cars pressuring. And Avenger does. He loses a lot of time coming through this corner there. The bumps on the surface here cause him to bounce across the road. Look at the distance that has been made up by Mustard and Damien here. They're only about 2 seconds behind Avenger now. As Avenger goes through this little chicane and he loses it there. His car whips out a bit. But Mustard also just carries too much speed. And now Damien up into 4th is now going up into 5th is going to be battling for 4th place now. Avenger under a lot of pressure here. His teammate Mustard lost the position. Damien right on the bumper of Avenger. PIB put in the First AL team under a lot of pressure here. Can Damien get through and take 4th spot? Damien weaving across the road a little bit there, losing a little bit of time, and he goes into a bump. I'm not quite sure about the weaving, and that allows for First AL Mustard to catch all the way up again to help his teammate and relieve a little bit of that pressure. Damien under pressure now from Mustard. As Mustard carries his speed through that corner much well, and he regains his position. So we've got First AL, Avenger, and Mustard in 4th and 5th right now, holding back Damien in 5th from PIB. So good job from them so far. Let's just get into the air and see what is happening across the track elsewhere. In 3rd place, we have Golden Arrow. He's still about the same distance. I would say Shooting has actually managed to get a little bit more distance on Golden Arrow. Shooting still has to go in the pits. And Red Jackson has actually lost a little bit of time between Shooting. Red Jackson maybe slowing up a little bit. He knows he doesn't have to put down so much pressure now. He can relax a little bit. He's got a large distance. He also knows probably that Shooting still needs to go into the pits. So Red Jackson slowing up a little bit. He knows this is comfortably in his hands. There's no point to risk it right now. Shooting still needs to go into the pits, which may allow Golden Arrow to reclaim 2nd place. The battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th still heating up here as Mustard has actually catched up with his teammate Avenger. So will Avenger allow Mustard to pass, or will Mustard have to battle? Red Jackson is PSI 2. We want a 1-2. Oh, fair. Mustard losing it through that corner. And now Damien's managed to catch up, and Damien's going to overtake Mustard here and reclaim 4th. Mustard trying to push him out, trying to hold his position, blocking off the outer lane as Mustard's going to take the inside of the corner now. Damien on the outside to the inside. Damien under putting a lot of pressure under Mustard there. This is the battle for 4th. Mustard losing a lot of speed through that corner. He went wide. Damien trying to go on the inside. This upward incline, hard to put down any speed. You really do need to carry the speed for a good corner on this little hill. Mustard does hold on though. Oh, that rum I drunk, I can feel I'm getting like a little migraine because I haven't hydrated. I basically drunk a lot of rum mixed with water. I feel like I can feel like a what do you call it? Like a hangover stuff. Mustard into the factory. Can he get through the doors without collision? He does. Smooth transition by both drivers there. Through the corner, though, Mustard loses it. He goes into the wall. Too much speed, and that allows Damien to move through into 4th place now. Can he catch Avenger? It's a question. Avenger has opened up a good 10-second distance between both Damien and Mustard as those battling for so long. It's allowed Avenger to pull away. Avenger having a little bit of a smooth track run now, allowing him to sit quite comfortably in 3rd place. Mustard does have... No, Mustard went into the pits. So the only one to go into the pits now, high up on the track order, is Shooting. And Shooting has a big... I don't know what happened to Golden Arrow. Golden Arrow might have had a few issues through some corners. But Golden Arrow's distance between Shooting and him now is quite large. About a minute, I would say. Half a minute to a minute. Red Jackson, he goes through onto his final lap. Very comfortable for him. No issues. He can go as slow as he wants at this point. He's on his final lap. Shooting has to go into the pits here. Golden Arrow coming up through the chicane. You can see Golden Arrow is almost to the last corner now. Shooting has to complete this pit stop and get out in front of Golden Arrow. Red Jackson is doing good. He's doing really good. Shooting pulls up his mechanics under work. You can see Golden Arrow coming down the stretch. Can Shooting get out in front of Golden Arrow? The mechanics almost done. Mechanics are done. And Shooting goes out. I think Golden Arrow had a little bit of issue on that final corner. And Shooting gets out back into 2nd place. Golden Arrow flying down the final stretch the fastest he can. But he's still in 3rd place. He did gain a little bit of time, but I think Golden Arrow had a lot of issues on the final parts of the lap, and he was unable to get out in front. So Shooting continues into 2nd place. So we've got Red, Jackson, and Shooting in 2nd. That's PSI in 1st and 2nd position. The battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th still continues as Avenger has lost some time, and Damien and Mustard are catching up again. Morris and Damien are on fire. They are. Damien's doing really good. Can Damien keep up the pressure on Avenger? That is the question. Avenger, Damien, and Mustard coming down to the final stretch now into the final lap. Avenger is going to lead in 4th place. Demian in 5th, and Mustard in 6th. This group of 3 cars, 2 cars from the first AL team battling against PIB Demian. Demian under pressure from the front and the back. They are catching up with Avenger. Let's head a little bit further down the lap and see what is happening. We've got PIB, Bobby C. He's being pressured by Rico first AL, and the other cars are very, very spaced. We've got Senate coming in here and Atrie. Let's keep on the battle for third. And Avenger losing it in the corner. Demian goes on. All cars colliding with each other. So now all cars are colliding together. This is a tight group. PIB sandwiched in the middle. This is the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Avenger losing control in that corner, causing a little bit of pile up. All cars hold their original positions. Demian losing a little bit of speed. He's getting a little bit of contact there. The battle for 4th is heating up. Avenger. Oh, Avenger loses it in the corner, and it kind of causes a little bit of a ricochet further down the line as Demian and also Mustard all lose speed in the exact same way. This group is still tight, though. Lots of little mistakes being made by all these drivers, and there's another one as Avenger cuts that corner a little bit too tightly, hits the barrier. Mustard carried his speed a little bit better, so he's still on the tail of Demian. This is a very close battle. We're going to keep on this battle here for 4th place. Demian and Mustard both carrying their speed very well. They're catching up with Avenger again as they go into the wooded chicanes now. The oval corners are coming up. We'll see how well these cars carry their speed. Mustard was very close to the barrier there. First corner down, second corner down. Lots of speed being carried here. You can see Avenger has been caught up by both cars. You can carry a lot of speed through these corners. And Avenger hits the barrier. Also, Demian does go straight into the side. That allows Mustard just to go straight through. Mustard manages to overtake his teammate and Demian going into 4th place. I wouldn't be surprised if Demian manages to get past Avenger here. He has been the stronger driver. And Avenger having a lot of trouble here. He's trying to defend his position and to help his teammate in 4th place. Demian still got the ability to catch up here and take over Mustard, because we've seen Mustard make multiple mistakes in this lap as well. You can see Avenger and there goes Mustard. We just spoke about it. Spectator curse, and Avenger goes straight into him. And Demian goes into the back of it. 3-car pile up again. These guys are side by side now, and Demian's going to sneak through. Avenger and Mustard getting tied up. We've got some wheel action there. Avenger going off the ground. As Avenger and Mustard tie each other up, they allow PIB Demian to get through. I wouldn't be surprised if Avenger might let Mustard through, but Mustard has lost a lot of control, and also Avenger loses his control for those corners. Mustard spins out. He goes into the wall. His car might be done, as also does Avenger. Avenger loses it on that corner. And I think that means Demian now. He's got plenty of room. He might be the one who finishes in 4th. Avenger falling back into 5th, and Demian's position from PIB is opening up. So very good race from those 3 drivers there. Demian putting a lot of pressure, 1 versus 2. He manages to hold, and he takes it. Let's find the rest of the grid. I think we've actually had some overtaking happening. You see Inkjet over here. He's been overtaken by Shooting. Golden Arrow's catching up on it. Shooting goes straight into a wall. Golden Arrow, so we've actually had a lap time there. We've had a what do you call it? I forgot the word. An overlap. So, Mustard disconnected. Very unfortunate for him. But all eyes are on the star driver here. Red Jackson comfortably finishing in 1st place for PSI. The distance between him and 2nd, absolutely huge. He's got about a minute between him and 2nd place. Strong race for him. Great use of tactics. Taking that pit stop early and gaining so many positions. Red Jackson finishes in 1st place. Strong, comfortable finish for him. Shooting, who also had an amazing race. He's going to come through in second place. Fighting his way up the grid. So that's going to be a 1-2 finish for PSI as he goes down into second. You can see Golden Arrow from PIB tried his best to catch up. We had a great race between Golden Arrow, who's shooting for the second race. Golden Arrow just unable to catch up. Had a few unfortunate turns. And there we go. Shooting through to second. Golden Arrow finishing in third. Comfortable in third. The distance between first, second, and third, comfortable. And you can see fourth place. The battle that was happening for fourth place, absolutely miles behind. Inkjet, I think Inkjet is going to be entering his final lap. He's had a very unfortunate race. We didn't get to cover him, so we didn't get to cover him very much. So we was unable to see what happened to Inkjet. But he's I think he's actually still on his fourth lap, so he's going to actually be entering his fifth and final lap. We've got Damien comfortably in fourth place here. You can see Avenger holding out of fifth, but the distance between PIB and first AO distance in here. As Damien, as long as he keeps control and has no major accidents in the final little corners and the final large 90-degree turns, he'll be finishing in fourth, followed by Avenger in fifth. Let's just make sure they get around these corners. No issue. And then we'll see if there's any battles happening up on the end of... at the... further up the race order. Damien going through. He's going to finish in fourth, with Avenger from first AL finishing in fifth. I'm better than the World Rallycross helicopter? You damn right I am, man. You damn right I am. So let's head over to see what's happening for the Battle of 6. We've got Rico battling for 6. PIB, Waffle, and Bobby C are very close. This is the battle for 6. About a 3-second time between these two cars. So as long as Rico keeps control through these corners. Ooh, almost spinning out there. Losing a little bit. Losing about half a second. As long as Rico holds strong for this final corner, he should finish in, was it 6? I've lost track now. And there goes Rico. He makes it through with Bobby C and Waffle. Oh, we've got another final battle going on here as Senate and Zenit and Atri are battling. This is probably for 8th and 9th. Senate loses a bit of speed. Will Antria manage to pull weight on this straight? I don't think he will. He got very close on the final straight here. He had a better turn in that final corner, but I don't think he's getting enough speed just to take over on the final stretch. Senate is going to hold his position with Antri just finishing behind. And I think we're down to the final cars. Yeah, we got... Joey has no pressure. He's very comfortable. He's going to be finishing in his final position over here. And then further down the track, we have Khan. No cars near him, so he's under no pressure unless his car explodes. And then we've got two final cars on the track. We've got Mike Blue Star, who's going to be finishing second to last. And then I think, is it Blue Inkjet? He's going to be finishing in, yeah, Inkjet, sorry. He's going to be finishing in last place. We had a couple of DNFs. Mustard DNF'd, and then we had another easy driver who DNF'd. So, yeah. I'm Damien from PIB. Was good racing between us. It really was. From second to last. From last to second. Yeah, shooting, you did good, man. Good. Did good. I liked it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. That's good, man. That was the second race had a lot of very close battles going on. I think the second race was a little bit more action-packed than the first. Just go on board calm. I wish I could set my camera at a specific speed, like 60 kilometers. It's hard to do that. I wish I could just, like, type in 60 kilometers or something like that. So then it'll be more smooth with keeping up the cars. But yeah, man, I enjoy these casual little events, man. Like my camera was very smooth with keeping up then. I enjoy these little casual events. I hope you guys enjoyed watching them as well, man. I hope you enjoy. I hope my commentary for racing wasn't that bad. If you did enjoy it and you hadn't already, you know, please do hit the follow button. See when I go live, just like that. Thank you, Bar. And if there's any, you know, Twitch Primes or anything, I'll happily gobble them all up. But if you could go subscribe to the YouTube, I will upload this to YouTube. I'll also edit it down so it's like just the race. I'll cut out all like the in between. I'll do the qualifier and the races, but I'll cut it down. I'll upload this to YouTube. So if you haven't already, link to YouTube is in chat. If you can go subscribe, it's free to subscribe on YouTube, and I'd very appreciate it. You know, a good thing about these events as well, I don't have to have a delay. It's like, what does stream sniping get you in a race? What does stream sniping get you in a race? Like, oh, I know this guy's in first place. Like, okay. That's another thing I like about these. Thank you for the YouTube sub, Barber. I had the email pop up like subscribe. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate it. Stream is actually quite helpful as the pitch crew. I imagine it is, yeah, because it's an extra eye in the sky, and if I help keep track of stuff, it helps you guys keep track of stuff as well. Use in-game map and stream to watch the race, and make sure when to pit. It's like I'm like in the F1, how they have like the team next to the pit lane who are all stuck in the computer screens, like tracking everyone's position and stuff, and they're like coordinating with the drivers, like when to come in and shit. No problem. Did you see me jump that wall like a maniac? No, I didn't. Were you from Easy? Were you the one who was flipped and trapped under his car? We saw the safety car come rescue you, but I didn't see you flip over the wall, no. I don't know how that happened, but, you know, GG for that. I think everyone's finished, right? Oh, we still got one car out on the track. We got one car out on the track. Are they destroying the cars now? Nice. Boom. You should ask, like, for, like, later races when the mods are done. Like, the Shifting Sands and Mercury guys. You should ask if you could borrow their, like, skins for their Kubelwagens and stuff. So you could, like, because they all perform the same. They're all the same cars, just reskins. And ask if you can borrow, like, their skins to have, like, more variety between the cars. You feel me? Because I'm pretty sure one of the mods, they have a Kubelwagen where it's like a... Is it Shifting Sands? They have like a desert version of it. And I think one of them also has like a rooftop. Like the canopy rooftop is up. Come on, Inkjet. Like, you're not on the track, but that's fine. I don't think it matters at this point. Few corner cutting. I don't think it matters. Come on, Inkjet. The final driver over the racing line. Oh, he's gone into the pits. Okay, fair enough. I know. I was going to follow you down to the finish line. But no, man, I hella enjoyed that. I'm going to do the little bit for YouTube. So if you just watch this on YouTube, how did you find this event? It's the first one I'm loading up on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe. It would help me out very much, and I very much appreciate it. If you want to take part in these racing events, there'll be a link to the Discord in the description and also in the top comment, I believe. But yeah, YouTube, much love, and I'll see you next time. And a big thank you to last month's Twitch subscribers: Willdale303, Yeetus McFeetus 69420 MLG, Yusus, Epics True, Just Press _, Hinkle _, Blomhauser, Coeyboy013, Lazy Titanium 145, Skyros, IR9 _ Lysander, Liberated, Mutlurk, Case25, Kaiser NG, Jabes MX, Merpinator, The CJ Reed, Callum Derp, Morning Calf, Tom the Milkman, Unheroic Isaac, Luna the Gamer Fox, Sash363VD, Bored Out of My Head, Call Me Davro, Bro Lifer, and It's Carl's Design.